Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video you're going to learn how you can improve performance of your Windows 10 PC or laptop. You might be wondering how this guide could benefit you. Well, after following this guide, your system going to be a bit lighter and a bit faster. And by that I mean you'll have less junk so that your computers or your laptop's processor will have less junk to deal with, so it won't get bottlenecked. You'll get a bit of a performance boost and your system responsiveness will be increased. And additionally, for laptop users, you might get better battery life out of it. So let's begin. Now, before doing anything, we have to take care of two things first. First, we have to create a restore point so that during this process, if anything goes wrong, we can revert our system back to its previous state. And second, to check for latest Windows updates. Now, checking for latest Windows updates, it's a healthy practice so that your system drivers and all the other dependency files for your softwares and programs are up to date so that they can work in a proper manner and your system won't crash or give out any kind of random error. So to create a restore point, first you have to go to your start menu. In the start menu, type restore. Once you do that, it will take you to system properties window. Here under system protection, you'll see your Windows restore point activity window. Now in some newer Windows 10 installations, system protection is turned off by default. So first we'll have to enable it. And to do so, select your C drive, your system installation drive. Once you've selected it, click on configure. Then select turn on system protection. Now after turning on system protection, you have to assign it a bit of a space from your system drive where it will store its all necessary information, all its files. Now what I would suggest is you should at least provide it between 8 to 10%, but it also depends on your hard drive. It's up to your own preference. So here I'll assign it 10% of space, that would be 4.95 gigabytes. Once you have assigned your space, click on apply and then OK. Now as you can see here, the system protection is on now. So all we gotta do now is to create a restore point. And to do so, click on create and enter your desired name for your restore point. I'm going to name it backup 1. Once you've given it a name, click on create. Now depending on your system and how slow or fast it is, it will determine how much time it's going to take to create a restore point. It can take from 2 seconds to up to 5 minutes depending on the system performance. So let's wait while it creates it. There you go. So as you can see here, it was not that much of a fast process, but not too slow either. So once your system restore point is created, you'll get this message: the restore point was created successfully. Now click on close and exit out of this window by clicking on OK. Now first thing is completed. We have created our restore point. Now let's go to the next step. We have to check for Windows updates now. And to do so, right click on your start menu icon, click on settings, then you have to go to updates and security, then just click on check for updates. Now if there aren't any updates available for your machine, it will automatically download it and install it by itself. But you can also change your preferences if you wanted to only download the updates, or if you wanted to download and install. Also, if you want to make additional changes, you can go to advanced options and select how would you prefer updates to be installed. Now, as I can see here, I don't have any updates pending. Or if you feel like that you're not getting any kind of updates, or you want to see if you have installed any kind of updates lately, just go on view update history, and it will provide you a bit of information what was the last update install, its time or its date. So once we're done with that, close out of it. Now let's continue with our next step. In this step, what we're going to do is we're going to disable some background processes. As all we know, in Windows 10 there are a lot of background processes that go unnoticed, and due to those processes the system performance drops. So to do so, right click on start icon, click on settings, go to apps. In apps, click on default apps. Here first you can select which app should open up as default for certain programs and extensions. We're going to make changes to our web browser here. So I personally prefer Google Chrome as my default browser. So click on web browser and then select whichever browser you would prefer to use as default. Once you have selected your default browser, go to offline maps. Now by default, offline map update is enabled. So first turn it off and click on delete all maps. Even if you have not downloaded any maps, sometimes it downloads certain maps itself. Once this is done, click on startup. Here you can see certain apps that will load when your system is booting, and by disabling those apps you can improve your system boot time. Now as you can see here, there are few programs listed here and you might have more of them, so you can choose according to your preference which program you want to load up as default while your system boots up. There are certain programs that you should not turn off, like your audio drivers, your video drivers if you're using an external graphic card. So here I'm going to turn off Cortana, OneDrive, VMware Tool Core Services. You can leave Windows Security Notification icon if you're not installing too much of softwares, if you're not downloading cracks and all. And if you are downloading cracked softwares and you're installing them, sometimes Windows Security will flag them as infectious. So once you have turned off all the preferred apps that you want to be turned off during the system startup, go back to settings. Now go to privacy. Here you have to make sure that you want to disable the apps that you really don't want. From here on you have to proceed on your own risk. It's all up to your own preference. Now under general, you can pretty much disable all of these. In inking and typing personalization, set it off. In diagnostic and feedback, well, in this particular area, what it does is it collects your usage statistics and sends it back to Microsoft. And due to that, there is some sort of background communication going on. You should disable this as it will prevent any kind of background communication from your system. Now as you can see here, most of the settings are turned off. Under diagnostic data, you should select basic. Turn off all of these settings, tailored experience, view diagnostic data, and then click on delete under delete diagnostic data. Under feedback frequency, you can select never, so that it won't ever send any kind of feedback or diagnostic data to Microsoft. Then go to activity history. Now here what it does is, whatever you do on your Windows operating system, like you install any kind of program, you switch between Windows, you install a program, it will show up in your start menu as recently installed programs. So it's up to you if you want to save your recent activity. If you want your operating system to remember your recent activities, you can keep it enabled. I personally prefer to disable it. Then click on clear activity history, go to location, and from here on pretty much disable everything so that it won't work in the background and continuously consume your processing power. Under app permissions, disable everything until unless you're using any kind of application that require these apps or these processes. That particular application will ask you by itself that it requires access to your camera, your microphone, or your notifications. Till then, pretty much turn off everything. Voice activation, you won't need it. Some people do, but most of people don't require it, so turn it off. Under notification, turn off so that you won't get annoying pop-ups from all the apps that you have installed on your Windows. Under account info, turn it off. Contacts, turn off. Calendar, turn off. Phone calls, off. So pretty much from here on, turn off everything that you won't need. I don't require any of these background processes, so I'm going to disable everything. Now here's one more setting here for background apps. So here are some apps that come pre-installed or get installed from your Microsoft Store. So I'm going to turn off everything so that these apps won't work in background without me knowing. After this, again, app diagnostic, turn it off. Automatic file download, you don't have to touch it. If you don't use Microsoft OneDrive, you will see an option here. I'm not using it. I don't have any option to turn it off or on. The documents, keep it on, because if you're using Microsoft Word, Notepad, such applications, it will save your documents to your document folder automatically. If you don't want it to, turn it off. And pictures, turn off. Videos, turn off. File system. Now under file system, it's up to you if you want to turn it off or on. It won't make much of a difference, so I'm going to turn it off. Once everything is turned off or on according to your preference, click on home. Now go to system, click on storage. Now make sure in storage you turn off storage sense. If you have it turned on, what it will do is it will delete any file that you come across to free up space. So if you have it on, there is a possibility that some of your important file or your important data might get deleted automatically. So to prevent that, turn it off. Then go to share experience, turn it off. Now go back to home. Now in next step, you're going to make some changes to the appearance of the system to improve its performance and reduce the load on your RAM. To do that, go to personalization, go to colors, scroll down a bit. Now disable transparency effects, and under choose your default app mode, click on dark. Once this is done, close out of this window, then go to your start menu, type in control, click on control panel. Now click on system and security, then click on system. Now here you'll see some information regarding your computer, what kind of processor you're using, how much RAM you're using. If you're using 4 GB or 6 GB of RAM, the next step is going to be a bit beneficial for you. Click on System Protection, click on Advanced, then under Performance, click on Settings. Here you can make some changes to these settings to improve either your appearance or your performance. So I'm going to provide you some basic settings that you can enable or disable to improve your system performance. If you want only appearance to be improved, you can select Adjust for best appearance, and if you want all the appearance settings to be disabled and only want to focus on performance, click on Adjust for best performance. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave some appearance settings on and turn off others, so that it will be a balance between performance and appearance. So what you can do is you can enable these. Follow me through these settings. Once you have selected all these, click on Apply. Now your appearance and performance settings are done. Now click on Advanced. From this page, what we're going to do is we're going to assign your system virtual memory. What virtual memory does is when your system has utilized its own physical memory that you call a RAM, Windows will automatically assign some space from your internal hard drive as a virtual memory, which will be utilized by the programs as it were a physical RAM. Now click on Change. Disable automatically managing. Now you might have several drives listed here. So if you have 2, 3, 4 or 5 partitions listed here, select them all one by one and click on No Paging File and then click on Set. We're not going to disable it because we have only one partition here that we will be using. Once all the other partitions are set as no paging, click on your C drive partition and then select System Managed. So what will happen is system will analyze how much free space you have on your C drive and how much processes are running and how much virtual RAM is required. System will assign the page file itself. Once you have selected System Manage Size, click on Set and then click on OK. Again click on OK, click on Apply, then OK. Then close out of this window by clicking on OK. Now this will give you a prompt to restart your computer. It's up to you if you want to restart it just after the settings are done or you want to restart it later. So what I would prefer is, if you're not doing any important work in the background, you just simply click on Restart Now. Once your system is restarted, log into your system. Now the first half of our video is done. We have made changes to background processes, to our virtual memory, to our appearance settings. Now we're going to make some additional changes. We are going to free up junk files. We are going to free up unnecessary data from the system. It will dramatically improve your computer's performance. Also, it will free up some space from your system in the process. So in the next step, click on Start icon and type in % app data percentage and press enter. Once this window opens, click on app data, go to local, go to temp, select everything and delete. Now there are no important files present here. These are all temporary files. When you install a program, when you install a driver, all the temporary files required for that particular installation goes here. Once the temporary files are deleted, close this window. Now go to your browser and type in CCleaner. Now this is a third-party application that will help you tremendously if you want to free up your computer space on a regular basis. Now there are two type of versions for this program. There's a free one, there's a paid one. You can easily use a free one as it will suffice. Scroll down a bit, click on download. Once the program is downloaded, run the application and install it. Now there are two types of installation for this program. You can either directly install it on your C drive, or if you want to make some additional changes to the installation, you can click on customize. Here you can make some changes to the settings. Now I don't want it to show up on desktop or start menu. I'm going to disable it, and I'm going to also disable intelligent cookie scan, because what it will do is it will keep the CCleaner running in the background, and we don't want that. We want to minimize our background processes as much as we can. Now click on install. Now sometimes CCleaner will prompt you to install additional applications. I would suggest you don't do that. Click on decline. Once the CCleaner is installed, run it. So once your CCleaner is open, click on custom clean. Here you will see your web browsers, your Window Explorer, and other additional options of your operating system which you can clean up. If you are using web browsers extensively and you want to keep your search history, just unselect your internet history from each browser option. As you can see, the Google Chrome is not listed here. To make changes to the Google Chrome, click on Application, and from here unselect Internet History. The rest you can leave, or you can make changes according to your preference. What I personally like is I like to also delete DNS caches, Windows error reporting data, prefetch data. Once you have selected all the necessary or your preferred options, click on Analyze. What it will do is it will analyze all the options that you have selected, and it will show you how much space they are utilizing. If any of your browsers are running in the background, the CCleaner will prompt you to close them. Now as you can see here is the CCleaner has analyzed how much data all your browsers or your system applications or your system programs are utilizing. Once it has analyzed, you can either make changes what you want to select or what you want to unselect. Once the changes are made, click on Run Cleaner and then click on Continue. Once the process is complete, click on registry and then click on scan for issues. What it will do is it will scan for orphan registry entries that are not working properly or that have missing information or that are just junk registry entries that are not usable anymore. Let's say you have installed a program, used it for a while, and then you uninstall it. When that program uninstalls, sometimes its registry entries remains. So by doing this activity, what we do is we remove all the junk registry entries which are not usable anymore. Once the registry entries are scanned, click on fix selected issues. If you want to back up your registry settings, click on yes. Personally, I don't do that, so I'm going to click on no and then click on fix all selected issues and click on close. Once this is done, click on tools. Here it will also show you if you have any program installed in your operating system, like your Windows app or additional applications. You can either uninstall your Windows apps from here, because you won't be able to remove them from programs and application option in the control panel. So as of right now, I don't have any unnecessary application installed, so I'm going to just leave them there. Now click on startup. Now here it will provide you some additional information, where the files are located. If you have installed any recent applications, again you can remove them from here also rather than going to settings. So I'm going to disable CCleaner. All the rest I'm going to leave enabled. Now you can click on browser plugins. It will show you what plugins or extensions are installed in your browsers, and then you can delete them according to your preference. Then there is disk analyzer. What it will do is it will scan your disks and provide you detailed information, how much space is the picture files taking, music files, how much space they are taking, how much document files like Microsoft Word document, Excel file or PPT, how much space they are required. Now in the next step, it will find out if you have multiple entries of files on multiple locations on your system, or there are multiple copies of one file in different folders. You can find them out from here. Rest of the options we won't be using, so just simply click on close. Now the most basic settings that we could make are done. So by doing all these changes, there is a possibility that your system performance might improve a bit. Now if you want further improvement in your system, you can analyze your system's behavior by running applications and going to Task Manager and then go to performance and check out your CPU or your memory usage while running certain programs, like if you are playing a game and your memory is utilizing completely. You can either go for RAM upgrade depending on that particular game. What I would personally suggest is you should at least have 8 GB of RAM to play games on medium settings, and if you want to go for higher settings, higher performance, improve your RAM to at least 16 GB and install an additional graphic card. So that's it for this video. I hope that you have learned something today, and after doing all these changes, your system performance might improve a bit. If I have missed something or I have made any kind of mistake, please let me know in the comments. And if you have liked the video so far, please like, share and subscribe. It would help me out tremendously and improve my skills. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.